the curtain. I don't see that yet. There's a little delay. So can I talk? There we are.
There we are.
There we are. This is awesome. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I am Danielle, Executive Director at the Broadway Theater League of Utica, and I'm so honored to be in the studio. Thank you to Disruption Network, Todd and Z, for all they're doing for us. We were remote for quite a bit of time, so it's great to have some human interaction.
Yeah.
And
Let's
I have
human interact. We'll do an air hug.
Yeah, air hug, 6 feet apart. We're doing all that. So I have one of the greatest guests with me, a dear friend, a huge advocate for our community, our youth, and our city, the wonderful Michelle Truette.
Oh, thanks. That was such a nice intro.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's true. I can't keep up with you. I say this all the time. You're my idol. Nobody moves faster than you. So thank you for taking time out of your schedule.
Thanks for having me. This is really cool. It's nice to see Z and Todd in the space. And I mean, they're doing some great things here. And
yeah, they are.
I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, I know that you are very involved, and I think that's not even probably the right word, very. You are very, very, very involved.
I just can't say no.
I've
been working on it, but I can't.
I know. I feel like I've been saying that since like 2016. Like the word of the year is no. And
yeah. How's that going?
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. This year they said no for us, so I feel like this is a year
sometimes,
I stuck to
like
it.
depending on where you are in phases, like you have little kids, so sometimes like when my son was little, I used him as the excuse. I was like, no, he's going to kindergarten, so I really need to kind of watch that, you know? And I'd be like, no, I can't do that. But
now he's in college, and I love your son.
Thank
you know that. He's such a good kid.
Shout out DeAndre.
How's D doing?
He's good. We dropped him off in Philadelphia this past weekend, so he's at Temple. He's at the Tyler School of Art and Architecture.
Awesome.
He's doing graphic design. He was able to do some cool murals while he was home for the summer, and for COVID, he had to come home in March, of course. So he's doing his thing down there.
And we checked on him at Proctor Park, as you know, with all those murals this summer.
Yeah.
So great kid, awesome for our community. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Sure.
I don't know where you're even going to start. I'll leave that up to you because there's a lot to say.
I'll do the abridged version.
Okay.
Yeah. So
let's hear it.
I grew up in New Jersey, so we were talking about not being from here, but I've been here for over 20 years. So there was a point where you're halfway between New Jersey and New York, and I'm like, oh no, I'm a New Yorker, you know. So I went to Rochester Institute of Technology and got a degree in graphic design. And then I moved here with a boy. That's how girls sometimes get to Utica.
Okay.
Boys bring them here. So my son's father, he's still here. We got a great kid out of the deal, so it was wonderful. And then I actually found my first job out of the Yellow Pages when I moved here. And I worked at an ad agency. It was over in New York Mills in the Mill Building, right on Main Street for a little bit. And then they shut down. I got laid off, and I started my own firm 18 years ago, and that's all she wrote. So
oh, my goodness.
Doing graphic design, marketing, branding, a little bit of anything and everything that comes at us. And through all of that and through all the connections, this has been a great community. And you know, we mentioned before too that I don't have family up here, but we've been able to make our own family through all of the colleagues and friends that I've met along the way, and have this great like creative community to do some cool stuff with. So I've got my key people. We like to get into trouble together and do some fun projects.
You are definitely busy. So I thought I was busy, but I'm nowhere near as busy as you are.
Busy is a mindset, I think. You know,
it's temporary.
I like work. I like being really productive. I like diving in, and you know, I still run my design firm, and I'm also part-time at ICANN, which I love, Child Welfare Agency, doing everything to keep families together. So I'm a part-time marketing coordinator there. And then I run the Levitt Amp concerts, which I know that you've been down to. We were on year 5, and unfortunately, due to COVID, we had to postpone to next year, which was, you know, inevitable. But we're guaranteed our funding for next year, which will be really fun, and hopefully.
And that is my most favorite event. You know, Utica does a great job with a lot of events and a lot of diversity and stuff for everybody in all ages. But I grew up when Utica Monday night was a thing.
Yeah,
you know, there was the pageants, and you went down and got a hot dog and salt potatoes and sat at Hannah Park,
course.
and I was in Showstoppers and all this. You know, so that was my era. So when you brought that here in your team and in the city, I felt like I got a piece of my childhood back, and I felt like my kids can live through that. And I'm hopeful that Utica Monday night will be back, and we'll be there.
And you know, Lynn was still involved. Lynn did that in the 90s. And you talk about people being busy and like having so much going on. She was doing placemaking and all of the cool stuff in the community building before it was a trendy term.
Yeah.
You know, she was doing the thing every Monday. And now we go through Levitt, and you're like, wow, that takes a lot. And she was programming parks and alleyways and streets and restaurants and everything else
It takes
for 15 years.
I know, I can't. Like, and I think of the work it takes for me to get my kids to these parks and come to the event. So I can't
Or like
imagine.
just up in the morning.
Just up, just like up and dressed and like, all of that. So I'm like, wait, what? And I have that appreciation from my background in being an event planner and also being in live entertainment. So, that's why I love this platform of the podcast too, because it gives people insight, a little backstage behind the scenes of what goes on. So what you do is incredible.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
And we're forever grateful. Now we met obviously through we met long ago through some what would you say, campaign work, I guess?
Family campaign
Some
work.
family campaign with my father and things like that. But so now I'm at Broadway Utica, obviously, and we just connected immediately, not only from the marketing and design side of things, but from the youth. Yeah. And I think it's important to talk about our Youth Ambassador program that we have here at Broadway Utica. And our Youth Ambassador program works a lot with many of the projects that Michelle's on. So I think...
yeah. And this podcast came up with just one of those like phone calls on a project we're working on, and we start talking about this. I was like, I've got this going on, and there's so much good overlap and cross-promotion we can do. So I'm looking forward to being able to talk about all this today.
Yeah. So Broadway Utica is entering their 9th season into the Youth Ambassador program. Traditionally, it used to be a program for juniors and seniors only. And this year it's going to be 9th through 12th grade for all local high schools. And it's really 2 years is not enough to immerse yourself into the arts, into the community, into new friendships, and build those connections. So we saw that last year, and we knew with everything that you had to offer, along with all the many other youth programs out there, kids need some more time to evolve. And there's a big difference between 9th grade and 12th grade.
Big difference.
And we really like to see that process grow. So if you're interested in being a youth ambassador, you need no musical talent at all. You just have to be in the 9th through 12th grade. You could start in at any age. And BroadwayUtica.org has all that information, how to apply. But one of our big things with the Youth Ambassador program is community service. Mm-hmm. And that's where we come into play with Michelle and Levitt and things like that. And Michelle's very involved. And we have kids that do both, that help you volunteer in some of your programs or actually take some of your programs, like YEA.
Yep.
And they're also youth ambassadors. So do you want to talk a little bit about your YEA program?
Sure.
And
yeah, that's funny you said that. YAP has been around for 9 years, and so has YEA. YEA and YAP, you got that?
Yeah.
So YAP is Youth Ambassador Program at Broadway Utica, at Broadway Theater League. And then YEA is the Young Entrepreneurs Academy, and that's over at MVCC. So both are in their 9th year.
It's crazy.
So our program is a national licensed program that actually started in Rochester, of all places, where I was in college.
Small world.
A small world, and it's now an international program. So there's over 168 different sites that have this, including in China and India. So it's really fantastic. It is, in a nutshell, a year-long program that students between the ages of 11 and 18, so 6th grade all the way up through seniors in high school, they can take the class for the whole year, October through May, and they build a business. And they come out of in the end of it as business owners. So they come up with the business idea, which we help them with, and we've had anything from like culinary, tutoring. We've had artists, we've had singers, we have had inventions that are really cool. We've had lawn mowing services, the whole gamut. It's for all the kids. So they come up with the idea, they write a business plan, they pitch it Shark Tank style to real investors who are our local corporate sponsors, and they win real money. And then they go on to do a trade show, get their DBA. And in between those major milestones, we have everything from field trips, and we've got wonderful guest speakers who come in and talk about everything from marketing and banking and finance and like selling things on the web and all sorts of stuff. So the kids are just, it's an amazing program. My son took it. I have another instructor, Joe Mandy, who's been with me for the full time. He's an animator in New Hartford. His daughter took it. One of the students wins a 2-year presidential scholarship to MVCC. Another student this year, we worked closely with WUTR and the OD. So one got a segment on TV. One got awesome. A podcast with Megan over at the Chamber, which was wonderful. One gets a year-long Chamber membership. So there's tons of prizes and really
And how
cool
do they get
things.
involved? So how can they find out more about this program? Do they reach out to you,
Yeah,
to the
we
college?
just
or-
launched everything. It's if you go to mvcc.edu, MVCC's website /YEA, YEA, and everything's right on there. It's a pretty simple application process.
What's the age requirement?
About 11 to 18.
Oh, wow. So you're
yep, sixth graders through seniors. And to tell you the truth, like the younger ones who don't have so much in their schedule tend to really thrive in the class. You know, they do have to write, so as long as their writing skills are at a comfortable level where they can, you know, write paragraphs and, you know, they have to write about marketing and finance and stuff. We help them through though. So, you know, full gamut of kids. I think this year, you know, with everything, of course, you've got a really interesting perspective now being on the school board and everything too, and having small kids. Who knows what's going to be going down over the next few months? It looks like sports aren't going to be happening for the fall, possibly the winter. So I'm hoping for this program that, you know, kids with a little bit more room in their schedule jump on this because it's a crazy good opportunity that a lot of times we run into. There's just too much to juggle, of course.
Right.
We know that. It takes place on Wednesday nights, so it's going to be from 4:30 to 7:30. We are going to do in-person to start with, so we were lucky enough to work with MVCC and the Thinkubator, which is a great business incubator downtown on Broad Street. Lots of room to spread out, and it's a really creative, cool atmosphere. The kids love working down there. So we're going to start in October and go through December at the Thinkubator in downtown. And then we're going to do virtual over the winter, which is nice for the parents because we don't have to drive in the winter too. And at that point, we're really like honing in on the writing. And then we're going to go over to MVCC for campus
That's awesome.
afterwards. That's the plan right now. Of course, as you know,
it could change.
Anything can change in a second.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Sure. I think we got some pictures that.
Yeah, those are our, the left there is our just recent class of 2020. So they did a wonderful entrepreneurial fused event. And of course, in March, we had to kind of shut the program down and go virtual. So they actually did all of their pitches for their businesses online and did a really wonderful job. So just to give kids an idea, kids and parents, if you're listening in, so you take this class and you pretty much get paid for this class. So depending on how you pitch and the work, we put an effort grade into it, and they could win anywhere from like $300 up to $700 in startup money for their businesses. And over the years, we do have some kids still running their businesses. Right now, I just hired Rob Snyder from Snyder Landscaping. We'll give him a shout out. He graduated from Notre Dame, and he has a really great landscaping company. And we just bought the house we've been in for a long time, and I don't want to mow the grass.
I don't blame you.
I'm thinking of Rob's elevator pitch in my head. He's like, it's for busy people who don't have the time to do that. I'm like, Rob, come mow my grass.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, they're still out there. They're doing great things. And even if they don't start the business right away, they have all of the tools. They have all of the know-how to start that later. And as you guys, as everybody in this room knows and everybody listening knows, everybody's got a side hustle.
Everybody.
You know?
Yeah.
So to have that business prowess and to know how to start it, how to market it, all the tools available, and to meet people in this class, we bring in one-on-one mentors, we bring in different resources, we make, you know, a tremendous amount of connections for these kids, and they've got people who will be with them for life.
Yeah, and I know that there's the grand prize winner and, you know, or the dollar value to it, but I think the connections and the networking and just, you know, how to, you know, appear in front of somebody, how to pitch an idea is so, you can't put a price tag to that. So I encourage everybody out there to really look into this program. I think it's awesome that it starts at sixth grade. I did not realize that. I've seen people pitch ideas. My sister, Tressa, was on it for a little while.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tressa was program manager for a little bit with us.
Absolutely.
Again,
So,
small world.
Small world. So she would invite me to listen, and I think I was just naive in thinking that these kids were 17, 18, you know, they were so talented.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. That really is awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks for
that's really good. And so the applications are open now, and we're taking them. I'm going to have a couple Zoom meetings. If you, we are on Facebook. If you go to just search in Mohawk Valley Community College Young Entrepreneurs Academy, and it'll lead you to it. And there's a flyer up there. So I'm going to have a couple Zoom Q&A sessions. If parents or kids have questions, I'm just going to pop on, and you can like kind of come in and ask anything you need. A lot of it has to do with scheduling and with tuition. So it is a $995 class, but I am in the midst of fundraising. So last year we didn't have to have any of the kids put out any money.
Wow.
So we put that out to show the value, because it really is like, it's a 25 plus week program for 3 hours a week. It's really intense, and it's such a great opportunity. So that's kind of the value of it.
So if someone wanted to sponsor the event or help offset the cost, how can they do that?
That would be wonderful.
My wheels are turning over
I'm
here.
putting together. So we do student scholarships. So last year I got a bunch of individuals and corporations to do the $995 student scholarship, and then throughout the year they have communication with their student, and they're able to come see them pitch. They get thank you cards and progress reports and things from the kids,
awesome.
and it's really a very personal sponsorship.
What's the limit amount of students that can?
Good question.
Be in the class?
24, but I think we're going to limit it a little bit this year just due to COVID and obvious reasons. But we typically get between 12 and 16, depending, and that's a pretty good number. So that allows for a lot of one-on-one time. You know, Joe and I do a lot of things outside of class with the students as well. If they need to go talk to a printer, I've taken them personally down to PJ Green, and we kind of talk through everything. It depends on what that student needs for that particular project or the business that they're working on.
That's awesome.
So,
and
yeah,
you can
it's crazy.
do both. You can do yep.
You can do both.
We've
We've had some
could do it all.
Like we've had some cross.
We have. And I think the biggest thing that they run into, so for being a youth ambassador, you get to come to these pre-show talks and hear from cast members and things like that. So the Wednesday nights are traditionally a show night. But I think that's the only conflict really is.
I was just going to say.
And we have 2 nights of shows, so you can
need
pick
to
your
get out
night.
of class. We always tell the kids, because you know what? That's another pitch to the parents and the kids, is that if you do have something, we've had kids in the school plays. We have had kids doing, real intense dance classes or sports or whatever it is, debate club, and we balance it, as long as you get the work done, because that's a direct translation to how we work now, right? Especially during COVID, we're all remote. As long as we get the work done, I don't care how you get it done or when you get it done.
Right.
Just get it done. So
Right.
if you need to leave early and you need to go see one of the wonderful plays that you are, putting on this year, that we're going to work that out.
Yes, and we always have
fine.
2 nights traditionally of shows. So
Exactly.
you can go to class and you can come to the theater the next night. So
That's a good year for a kid, like becoming an entrepreneur and getting to see all the shows.
where
like,
was all this
sign
when
me
I
up.
was
Where
around?
was it?
Where was this?
I don't know.
Like, I used
Z,
to
you might agree
beg
too.
my
Like, man,
parents.
if you had this before you started the business, right? Oh,
See, come on, you
Man.
could have hooked us up years ago. You could have started something. You were holding out on us. Life started all over again then. So between the 2 programs, there's a lot for the youth to do. There's also so much more out there. And I know Michelle and I have, talked to a lot of community members, and Broadway Utica will follow up later today and into the weekend of other opportunities available. We work closely with the Q Center, and we have, obviously the wonderful Stanley across the street from us, Munson Williams right up the street. I know you know of some other things that are happening.
There's actually a project we're working on. Stephanie Highland and I, she's the program manager for Pathways for Justice, and we're both on the City of Utica's Access and Inclusion Committee together. So we had, in February, right before the pandemic hit, we had a solutions summit. And we had about 100 people and split them off into about 6 different topics to talk about. When they came back to report, the summit was really to counter gun violence in the city.
Okay.
So when everybody came back to report on what their tables talked about, mentoring and keeping our kids busy was probably the number one thing. Like, of course, right? If you keep the kids busy, you get them involved in something that they're passionate about, and that can take a lot of time. It can, tire them out a little bit, keep them rocking, then they're bound to stay out of trouble.
And especially with all the changes obviously going on through different schools and school districts,
Right.
now more than ever, even if it's virtual, I think it's important for all businesses and anybody that can to consider the youth and educational programs, to ask for help, to see what's out there, to research. You are not alone. I know a lot of businesses that maybe were traditional have shifted into maybe what's considered essential, or how they can expand while one thing is closed, and we have too. And this downtime that we like to call it, has really pushed out our educational department, and we're rolling out quite a few things into the fall and the winter, and our youth program will be virtual or smaller class sizes until we can get the green light to host 60 kids all together. But we're making provisions through Zooms, and the shows and the actors and actresses and performers that usually speak to our children are willing to do it through Zoom. So
that's good.
I think we're going to see a lot of different stuff, not just from us, but from a lot of people. We're going to learn to adapt. We're going to learn to transition, and we're going to really push the bars, what we can do as a community. So I'm really, really excited And I know you'll keep us busy, so we won't have to worry about that. We're going to leave here today, and Michelle's going to call me that she has another idea and that she thought of something.
I'm trying to take August off.
You are?
But
how you doing with that? We're halfway through the month.
I'm fine with that.
I think I've talked to you every day this month.
This one project that Steph and I are working on, we're going to put together kind of a youth hub website, and we're going to call it Utica Starts With Youth. So that's a direct nod to Mayor Palmieri's favorite slogan, Utica Starts With You. But, really, Utica starts with youth. And we need a place where kids and parents and guidance counselors and mentors and everybody else who works with our youth can kind of go to one space and see what's good. Because, you've got the YAP program, which I've known about just by knowing you and being involved, but a lot of people don't realize that exists. There's other programs like the RPE program at BOCES is an amazing program that DeAndre went through. There are things like the EJA program. A lot of people don't know about that. So, if you want to get your kid involved, especially in the arts, like that's where my heart lies. I know that's where your heart lies as well. So anything where we can get them singing, acting, taking part in productions.
And there's so many pieces to the events that we both do, from sound to lighting, from logistics to finance, marketing. It's not just a performance.
Social media, all that good stuff.
Social media. I will gladly
take the phone.
Take that. Take that over. You can have the social media aspect of whatever we do. But I think it's important for kids because there is a stigma maybe that you go to college to be a doctor and a lawyer and a nurse, and that is all wonderful, and we need all of those people.
When we were kids.
That was my choice, and then I'm not candid about saying that. And a year and a half into my college career, it wasn't for me. It wasn't where my heart lied, and it wasn't part of my passion. So I feel like if I can help, those children see that there's more out there. Education is extremely important, and there's a need for it, and we should provide that. But I think connections and networking and how to be a good citizen, how to get involved, how to communicate properly, how to write a resume, we do all of this in our youth ambassador program because they're our next generation of not only theater goers but community members. So
and community leaders. They're the ones who are going to be on our boards and run. They're going to be us.
They are.
When we're too tired to do all this stuff in a few years.
I'm ready. We actually have a youth ambassador with us today. Mr. Joe Carney is over here.
I was just thinking Joe Carney can take it all over. Perfect.
And it wasn't even coffee for me. So tell people that I'm not like, okay, because it's like the devil wears Prada. I am not that type of, I did not send you for coffee.
Where's our Harry Potter books, Joe Carney?
I know, come on, written before they're even released. Let's go, Joe. But Joe is a youth ambassador, and he came to us and said, I want to be involved this summer. What can I do? And it didn't even cross our minds to maybe have an intern because our season has been so delayed. But when we brought a youth into our office, we now have a playbill contest thanks to Mr. Joe Carney. You can go to BroadwayUtica.org and design a playbill and get kids involved, prizes and recognition on all different levels and different age groups. It's free. Print it, come to our office and pick it up. Just submit it. Get your kids involved. Have them watch maybe a Broadway play or Hamilton's on Disney Plus, anything. Have them create that playbill cover. But that's with all thanks and recognition to Mr. Joe Carney. Joe's has put together a beautiful plan for us to carry our youth ambassadors through this downtime and where we're virtual. So I think that they need us, but we need them, and we need to make sure that message is portrayed clearly. So this is our beautiful class photo of our youth ambassadors, and not even all of them are there because there was a spring play musical, I believe, that night at Proctor. So we are blessed with, the greatest kids in this community.
That Proctor musical last year, Sidebar, was amazing.
Right?
Yeah,
right?
So good.
Yeah. High School Musical.
Yep.
High School Musical. That was their High School Musical. I always get confused when I say that. But no, so I think we can't be afraid to ask for help. We have to keep our doors open to let kids know that they can come to us. And Joe, thank you. I know that this is not the end of us seeing you. He's going to Crane School of Music. And we're really excited that he was with us, and we're sad to see him go, but we know this isn't the end of it. And I know that's how you feel with, every student that leaves your program is, just like you said, you're a landscaper. It's not the end, and
Nope, it's never the end.
and it's a small world.
Yeah,
and you got to keep.
a lot of our sponsors have been Matt Nickel, for instance, from Berkshire Bank.
The project
The mural at
yeah.
Proctor was really started by them. They work with United Way on that, and they were looking to refresh the mural. And Matt has been involved with the Young Entrepreneurs Academy forever, and he's been a judge. So he knew a couple of our kids. There was actually a girl who started a mural company last year.
Wow.
My son was doing art the year before. We got Sophie Mandia involved, so he made that connection. So all of a sudden, there's so much more depth to the project. You know, it's United Way, it's Berkshire, who's a great sponsor. It's kids doing it, and like they loved it.
And it's word
such
of
a nice
mouth.
opportunity. Yeah.
It's where those kids go and tell another kid and tell them to get involved in the
And
program.
they've got a beautiful piece for their portfolio, and it's just amazing.
And my kids watched it grow. My son played
yeah.
baseball every couple nights a week down at Project Park, and he always said, "Mom, the mural's growing." And
Oh,
I'm
that's
thinking
cute.
to myself, growing, but you know,
So many nights.
so many
of
nights
painting.
and lots of pizza, as DeAndre says, that you were running around and feeding the kids. So, a lot to come with Broadway Utica, a lot to come with Michelle.
And this is great. Meeting Joe Carney today, just talking before we went live, and you're a singer. So next summer when you come home, let's hook you up and bring you over to Levitt. So that's one thing we do with the Levitt concerts. And we've had quite a few of your ambassadors come over and take part at Levitt.
A lot of them.
So during intermission, we've got a local opener that goes on for an hour. We have a half-hour intermission where they change over, and then we have national headliners come from all over the country to play on the stage. In the middle, we hire and pay youth intermission acts. So we've got kids
go,
who,
Joe.
you know, they sing, they dance. We've had Irish dancers.
He's naming names of other classmates that he thinks.
I saw some in the
Did you
picture, in
see?
the Yap picture. I saw a couple
He's
in
like,
there.
He's naming their names, and he's like, they could do that. He's over there being
Yeah,
all shy,
the
but-
girl in the middle there with the black V-neck was her name
Maggie.
Maggie.
Yeah.
She sang at our opening concert last summer, and she was absolutely amazing. So I love the crossover, and that's what happens. You know, like when you're involved in one thing, and we're all talking like this right now, we're going to snag you for another thing. It's going to open up crazy opportunities for you.
And there is opportunities. You may have to find them, and we'll continue to do our part in spreading the word and educating. But it's out there. Talk. Don't be afraid. Ask for help. Research. But there's a lot to come. I can see. Like I said, I know the changes with the school districts and maybe kids not going back to school full time and 5 days a week. I think we're going to see a lot of fun and exciting things, and positive things will come out of this.
You
So
got to get creative. And one of the things I've been mentoring a girl for like 9 years. 9 years seems to be the key
that's
today.
a
Like everything's
lucky number.
What was that year? What were we doing? But I always have told her, and I tell every kid I run into, I'm like, be known. And you've got to talk to people. You have to ask for people when you're the person who's running your internship or your professor where you get later, like in college later, or your teacher. Be known. Just go talk to them. I'm dying and waiting for kids to come to me to be like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this thing. You know?
Yeah, tell me more.
One of the great things I wanted to mention today was Nomadic Voices. I don't know if you've seen him doing his thing, but so it's Tabo Bo. He is running this open mic. It's a very small thing, and he's hopping from different parks, and it's just a cool little open mic night thing. And I met him, and I really liked his energy, and I really like that he has he does spoken word. He doesn't sing, like so he's an amazing spoken word artist. Actually, he did one last Wednesday, and I think his video's up. And the last time I checked, it had almost 18,000 views on it.
I watched it after we talked.
It's amazing, and it's
Gives you
talking
chills.
about him being Karen, and he's making a platform for his friends who he believes in and just thinks that they're super creative. So again, like just meeting him through Chris over at Muck, and I'm like, this kid is interesting, and how can, we're always looking for succession. We joke about like, we might not be doing this in 10 years or things move on or there's new people coming in. We have to have succession plans for this.
Absolutely.
So with this great thing with Levitt and a 10-week concert series, it takes a lot. So who's going to be the next one to come in and, start helping out and taking over some things? Right. So I'm like, maybe we can bring him in and he can run intermission and he can do all that planning and booking. And
so much opportunity.
Yeah.
My wheels are spinning even from having them speak to youth ambassadors.
But he's good. And that's an opportunity for some of your youth ambassadors to go to his open mic and just jump on and sing or talk. He had some kids who were making beats on the fly who were super talented. He's got some kids who rap. He's got ones that sing. and it's a whole different crew of people.
Yes.
Like you just go and recruit. You're like, hey, come be part of YAP.
It's all
and
word
he
of mouth
is
and connections.
He's a alumni, I believe, right?
Of our program.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Small. Look at the small
Small
worldness.
world.
I love it. It's all happening. It just proves we get amazing kids in these programs.
It is. And they are amazing kids. And like I said, I think there's more to come, and we'll continue to do our part. And once that website's up, more people can visit it and see how they can get their kid involved. I'm seeing a lot of virtual theater camps popping up. I'm seeing a lot of drive-in movies.
Yeah.
And I think it's just awesome that we're making things accessible. So, yeah,
Sure.
let's show some Levitt.
Yeah, those are our interns. So we are going to do...
And there's D.
There's D, all the way on the right. Jorge Hernandez, I believe he was a Young Entrepreneur Academy student as well, and I think he was a YAP kid a few years ago. And the girl all the way on the left, Abigail Costin, she was a Levitt intern for the summer, and then we got her to take YA. She started a really wonderful photography business. So she's doing a lot of senior portraits right now, and learned that starting a business during COVID wasn't so crazy when you're doing photography, because you can do that in a socially distanced, safe way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's quite amazing.
There's
We'll be
Maggie,
having an internship
Johnny,
program
Juliana.
again next summer. Yep.
A lot of
Yep. You know, Johnny and Juliana, they're amazing.
Yeah.
I know their sister. The two girls at the bottom were in the orchestra at Proctor. So it's amazing. And look at all the people. I put that picture in there particular because this allows the kids we get 700, 800, 900 people at these concerts. And right at intermission is when people really start pouring in because they're coming to see the headliners. And I mean, that's a huge audience for kids.
Yeah.
And we pay them. So a lot of times it's like their first paycheck. And I just put up a little segment. If you go on the Levitt Amp Utica Music Series Facebook page, I just put up a Levitt intern segment so you can learn a little bit more about that. Awesome. We don't have a deadline yet because we're still up in the air as to what we're going to be doing next summer. So we'll probably open up applications for that like in the spring.
Awesome. That reminds me, Broadway Utica Youth Ambassador Program applications are now on our website, and they're being accepted till October 1st. Nice. Same for you.
October 2nd for YAY.
Okay.
So
well,
you
we
can
could change
do
our
both
date
at
for
once.
you.
No, they can. You know what I say? Like, don't procrastinate on that. We need a 300-word essay, which is nothing. There's a couple short answer. You do have to get your transcript from school. But that's really it. Like, tell us why you want to be a part of it and why you want to be an entrepreneur.
Same for us, parent consent and a recommendation from a teacher. But for us,
from a teacher.
You don't need any kind of art background. We just want you to have a passion for live theater, a passion to understand it more, a passion for your community, to meet people and to network. But there's no trying out or talent showcase or anything like that. We just cap it at 60. So we encourage people to, especially this year going into 9th grade.
That's a lot of kids.
Yeah, it is. And they're great kids. And we have a great team back at the office, and and our board of directors all help us run the program so that it really every aspect of the funding goes right back to the kids through our sponsors and donors. So, yeah, Michelle.
There's so much.
There's so much. We can stay on for a long time.
I tell you, and this is stuff, like we're sitting down and making a database of all of the things that we know, and we're looking for those underground things too that, I think our programs they're pretty well out there. Young Scholars is an amazing program. Junior Frontiers, I think people know about that. On Point for College, like you can go on. But there's other people who are doing some quieter things really, really well. So we want to know about all of those for this website.
And they can reach out directly to you, or what's the best way to come?
I'm super Googleable. So is that a word?
Yes.
But you can find me, or we started a Gmail account. So Utica starts with youth at gmail.com. So if there's anybody who's running a program that's doing anything great with youth, especially mentoring, anything in the arts, anything in health or social services, if you just have like a little club or something like that, we want to make it the most like...
especially virtual clubs. I see that's like a big thing.
What's going on
right now, just from some youth programs in school districts. So, yeah, I think that's
good. And anything that's out there where you need kids, we want to be the hub that's going to help get kids to you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we're in research phase and writing and everything. I do have to.
Yeah.
We put self-induced deadlines on, so I have a lot of work to do by tomorrow. But
that's all right.
So we're searching for content right now.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I know
we have so many great things to do.
We do.
It was nice to sit and kind of talk about them and like.
And everything that we've been working on, obviously, as several of you know, our theater has been postponed to 2021, when traditionally we would be right now gearing up to welcome a show into the beautiful city of Utica at the Stanley Theater. But unfortunately, that is not on our radar this year, but it is for next year. So please support live theater in any way you can, whether that's through a ticket purchase, a subscription, just educating yourself on the arts and live theater, watching a musical right now streaming online or anything like that. Get your kids and grandkids, nieces, nephews, somehow get them involved. Head on over to BroadwayUtica.org for all the information of how you can get involved. Become a 2021 season subscriber with us. Payment plan options are available. Great lineup we have coming to you, and we're excited to see everybody's faces again. Thank you to Michelle for her time and education and knowledge, most importantly. To Joe Carney for being just a great summer intern at Disruption Network. It is an amazing facility, and we're so lucky to have it up the street from us. So Broadway Utica will be back with Backstage podcast in 2 weeks. Well, you'll hear more about our upcoming season, little backstage insight, and some industry leaders that will giving us insight as to everything that's going on down in New York City and how we're preparing upstate for that. So thank you, everybody. Enjoy your Thursday. Stay safe. Stay safe.
Be
right?
good.
Be good. Stay 6 feet apart and wash your hands. But we'll get back to normal, and this will be a thing of the past, and I'm confident in that. So
keep up the good work.
Thanks, everybody, and thank you to Bank of Utica for sponsoring our podcast once again.